My name is Robert Brackey. I'm a medical advisor for AWTTC. And today I'm talking about herbal medicines. Are they safe and natural? The MHRA wanted to find out public perceptions of herbal medicines. And they commissioned an Ipsos Mori poll 2009. And they found that a third of British adults use herbal medicines. And of these, about a fifth would not tell their GP. In 2011, there was a study looking at cancer patients in Coventry. And in this study, they found that almost 20% of the oncology patients use herbal medicines. And worldwide, studies have shown that the use of herbal medicines varies. One study in Canada showed it was 5.33%. Another in Spain showed it was 88%, and the USA is about 80% in some studies. In 2018, a UK GP study showed that in their practice, over a third of adults over the age of 65 use herbal medicines. The question is, why do patients use herbal medicines? And I think the answer comes from the Ipsos Mori poll, where they found that 89% of patients who take them felt that they were safer, natural, non-addictive, and pure. But the question is, are they? And Professor Routledge and myself looked at the adverse drug reactions to herbal medicines, and we categorized them into 5 different categories: the toxicity of the known herbal ingredient, substitution, contamination, adulteration, and herb-drug interaction. And we're going to discuss some of these. The first category is toxicity, and plants can be poisonous. And I refer you to this excellent pamphlet produced by the Welsh National Poisons Unit, which is part of AWTTC, on poisonous plants. And some of the plants they mention have been used in traditional Chinese herbal medicines, such as aconite. But here we can see 3 examples of liver toxicity caused by herbal medicines. In 2006, the MHRA received yellow card reports of 21 cases of adverse drug reactions with the use of cohosh, which was used for postmenopausal flushing. They were able to investigate this further, review the cases, and they eventually added a warning to the label. In 2000, in France, Germando was very popular as a digestive aid, but after 26 cases of liver toxicity were reported, it was prohibited in 1992. And similarly, the third case, Kava, worldwide there were 84 cases, as 6 patients died, and in 2002, the use of Kava was prohibited. This slide shows that there have been many reports of herbs associated with hepatotoxicity, and patients with unexplained jaundice should be asked about the use of herbal medicines. The next category is substitution, replacing something with another with other herbal ingredients. There are many cases in the literature where herbs have been misidentified. This particular case report was of 9 patients who developed digoxin toxicity and ended up in hospital after one member of their group mistakenly collected foxglove leaves instead of comfrey leaves to make their tea. There are, however, 3 major events in the adverse drug reactions of herbal medicines, which we call pharmacovigilance. And the first one I'd like to mention is in this case of in 1990 Belgium Slimming Clinic. The Belgian Slimming Clinic decided to change their 13-ingredient weight loss formula to include a new herb, Stephania tetandra. This was a diuretic. However, they were unaware that the common Chinese pinyin name, Panji, can be used to describe Aristolochia or Stephania tetandra, and as a result, over a 6-month period, they received Aristolochia instead of Stephania. Fortunately, Aristolochia is toxic to the kidney, and as a result, over 105 patients developed interstitial fibrosis, 43 developed end-stage renal failure, 31 had renal transplants, and when they followed up the patients, 18 subsequently developed urothelial carcinoma. And this case and other reported cases resulted in a prohibition order in the UK in 2001. But part of the MHRA is monitoring the use of these drugs, And in 2001, they issued a warning that illegal herbal remedies containing Aristolochia were being sold and that vigilance was needed. The next category is contamination, making something impure by exposure with additional ingredients. Case report that I have here is of a male of 13-year-old young man who consumed comfrey tea regularly for 3 years to manage his Crohn's disease. The boy developed hepatic venous occlusive disease, which is where you get a lot of fluid in the stomach, the liver doesn't work, and you become jaundice. But withdrawals of tea was followed by an improvement in liver function. This was caused by the alkaloids in the comfrey called pyrrolizine alkaloids. These are quite an interesting group of chemicals. They're found in over 6,000 plant species, including ragwort and coltsfoot. And of the 606 pyrrolizine alkaloids described, half are hepatotoxic and some are carcinogenic to animals, as they bind and form adducts to protein and the DNA. Although rare in the UK, in the past, in India, Asia, and Afghanistan, in the past, there have been outbreaks of veno-occlusive disease have been documented. An example is shown here, where it resulted in 1,600 deaths over a 2-year period. These cases are due to contamination of the crops with Senecio and Heliotropium plants in time of drought, and they're collecting these with the corn. The second major event in adverse drug reactions of herbal medicines or pharmacovigilance was in 2016, when the MHRA had a wake-up call. They had to recall a batch of St. John's wort as it contained high levels of pyrrolizine alkaloids. In fact, it only takes one plant of Senecio species in a field to contaminate a crop of herbs. The case highlighted the potential contamination of herbal products, and now all herbal preparations have to demonstrate low levels of pyrrolizine alkaloids. Veno-occlusive disease has been associated with herbal teas, first described in 1955, where it was associated with bush teas in Jamaica. But studies have shown that herbal teas can contain pyrrolizine alkaloids, as can honey. However, the long-term health effects of ingesting small amounts of pyrrolizine alkaloids is not known. The next category is adulteration of herbal medicines, making something poor in quality by deliberate adulteration. And there are many examples of this, such as whether anti-diabetic agents are being added, drugs for erectile dysfunction, or appetite suppressants. But this case that I show here, in 2011, the MHRA issued warnings about herbal floss lonicerae, which was widely available over the internet as a weight loss preparation. And the problem was that this contained large amounts of sibutramine. And sibutramine had been withdrawn from use in January 2010 because it was associated with an increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. The interesting thing about this, that it was brought to the attention of the MHRA by a concerned GP after one patient was hospitalized and several others reported suffering a range of side effects, including palpitations. And this case illustrates the importance of reporting an adverse drug reaction on clinical suspicion and how important just one reporter is and how they can highlight a problem. And it's important to remember that it's not just doctors or nurses can report, everybody can report, and members of the public are especially important in herbal medicines as they may not inform their healthcare professionals that are taking them. In 2004, the MHRA set up the Herbal Medicines Advisory Committee to advise on quality, safety, and traditional use of herbal medicines sold over the counter. And when they approved a medicine, it was granted a traditional herbal regulation type mark. And you can see that if you go into the chemist at TRH. The regulations require the quality must be demonstrated and the safety was gathered from scientific reports. However, demonstration of efficacy was not required, but there must be evidence of traditional use. So the question was how effective was this? And in 2016, there was a BBC program, Trust Me, I'm a Doctor, and they analyzed some herbal medicines and herbal supplements, and they showed that every TRH product tested contained what was claimed on the label. The next category, the last category, is herb-drug interactions. And the third major event in the pharmacovigilance of herbal therapy was in 2000, after the Committee of Safety of Medicine, CSM, which is now the MHRA, received 35 suspected reactions, the suspected interactions between St. John's wort and conventional medicines over a 4-year period. Due to these 35 reports triggering the signal, it resulted in further investigation, and the MHRA is able to confirm that St. John's wort could increase the metabolism of other medicines, and this resulted in the MHRA having to add warnings to 300 medicines to include this interaction. This is the initial warning that was sent out in 2000, where they advised that St. John's wort should not be used with the following medicines, and we can see that cyclosporin there, which prevents organ rejection. And there were, in fact, cases of organ rejection where patients had taken St. John's wort, and also oral failure of the oral contraceptives. In 2007, the MHRA issued another warning that herbal ingredients, such as St. John's wort, may interact with anti-epileptic drugs. And in 2014, they published this warning that it could interact with hormonal contraceptives, including hormonal implants. And this is quite important because this warning was issued after only 2 yellow card reports were received. And so it shows how important they are. This slide shows some of the drug interactions with herbal medicines we're aware of. And as you can see that St. John's wort increases the breakdown of other medicines, and it causes a fall in the levels of cyclosporin. But it also has another action where it inhibits the reuptake of neurotransmitters, and it can be additive in effect and cause something called a serotonin syndrome. We're pretty certain about St. John's wort, but we're not so sure about other herbal medicines and how they interact, and we really require reports of adverse drug reactions so that we're as aware of them as they are with St. John's wort. So yellow card reports have been essential in the understanding of safety of herbal medicines. We've seen how 21 yellow card reports submitted to the MHRA result in a warning about black cohosh and liver toxicity. We've also seen the importance of case reports, to be shown by the case of digitalis toxicity and the case of liver venous occlusive disease with Comfrey. We've also seen the importance of reporting on suspicion, and this has been shown when only 1 yellow card reporter resulted in the MHRA issuing a UK-wide warning about this particular weight loss preparation. But finally, thanks to the 35 reporters who took time to submit a yellow card report, we're now all aware of St. John's wort interactions with medicines. And this has resulted in additional warnings added to specific product characteristics of 300 medicines, but more importantly, it has also prevented further adverse events, such as organ rejection failure and failure of oral contraceptive pills by patients mistakenly thinking herbal medicines are safe and pure. So yellow card reports are very important. However, in 2020, only 72 cards were received by the MHRA. We decided at AWTTC to investigate this, and we used the Healthwise Wales online platform. We've received 1,600 responses from people living in Wales and found that 80% of respondents did not know how to report a side effect to Yellow Card Centre. And so public education is very important. Of the 18% who said they knew how to report a side effect, a third of them, only a third, thought it applied to homeopathic and herbal medicines. And so education of the general public is essential on how to report adverse drug reactions. So what should you report? The MHRA sent out this reminder of what to report. They said you should send in the product's brand name, list of ingredients, details of the manufacturer or supplier, TRH number, information of the condition being used, details of any other medicines, and herbal practitioner name and address. It's very important to understand that the TRH regulation only applies to herbal medicines sold over the counter. Herbal practitioners can prescribe any herb or combination of herbs other than those that have been banned, and these prescriptions are not subject to any quality or safety regulation. And then finally, it's a photograph of the package. But then they say that even if none of this is available, it's still important to submit a report because the information is so important for understanding how they interact with our medicines. So in conclusion, herbal toxicity is an important public health issue, and the MHRA Traditional Herbal Regulation Scheme has been very effective in public health protection. It's important that we increase public awareness and that there is good communication between healthcare professionals and the public. It's really essential to understand and new adverse drug reactions. And patients should be encouraged to share the information with the healthcare professional on all the products they may be taking. However, it is essential that the healthcare professionals themselves in the undergraduate and receive undergraduate and postgraduate training programs on herbal products so that they will know how they may affect the safety or efficacy of other types of treatment. And finally, patients should be encouraged to report adverse effects of herbal medicines. So thank you very much. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.